Hasso, presented by Sprint. Be there now with 055.
When Mama Fina, as Tan Josefina Ngumatato was affectionately known, passed away last year as a result of injuries from a traffic accident, thousands of people attended the rosary services, the Mass, and the funeral in her honor. At 87 years of age, she either knew you or you knew her, or you both recognized and acknowledged each other's presence. But what you probably did not know was that she had 12 children, 10 girls and 2 boys. During wartime Guam, finding food for 12 children was a daunting experience. Yet, she shared what she had with those who needed food the most. For instance, she gave precious milk from her own cow to infants in other families whose mothers were too weak to nurse them, rather than giving it to her own children who were just a little bit older and stronger. During these recollections of life during the struggle, I have often called attention to the manner in which our people sought to help one another, to have seen these acts of kindness and generosity, of giving when there was so little to give, of helping someone when you're so weak you could hardly stand yourself, made an intolerable situation bearable. There were many episodes demonstrative of the character of our Chamorro people during the struggle. This has been one of them, and I'm very proud to share it with you. During the occupation, our lives were constantly disrupted by projects on the enemy's agenda, which of course always took precedence over everything else. Some of us were assigned to mining for manganese, digging caves, or planting rice. One of the most dreaded assignments was to build barricades in the bay at low tide. The work involved handling heavy logs and barbed wire while standing on sharp coral in slippery leather sandals under the hot sun and rushing to beat the incoming tide. Now, these barricades were built so they could not be seen at high tide when the landing crafts of the U.S. forces would be headed towards the beach. It was grim, but we had no grievance procedures at the time, so there was nothing to do. We weren't hired, so there was no pay, but if you did not perform, you could be fired, as in fired upon. Nevertheless, many took their chances and took off. Now, this was totally unacceptable to the Japanese. Their solution, they made us take off our clothes, and we had to work naked. The ploy worked, because nobody took off after that. I mean, nobody escaped. You know, there was a time not too long ago when there were quite a few chapels in the villages throughout the island. These chapels were called capilla in Chamorro, and were usually located on someone's property, and the owners would take care of them. The old capilla, such as the one that you see in the picture, was made very simply with existing material from surrounding trees. As we converted to brick and concrete in building our own homes, we also changed the manner in which we build the capilla, such as this one, the San Ramon Chapel. During the occupation, the capilla was a place of worship, and I recall our working group stopping and praying for safety for ourselves and our families every time we got to go near one of these. Frank D. Parrish, one of the most respected citizens of Guam, emerged as the natural leader of our own group, and he always led us in work and in prayer. I know I'm speaking for many people when I say that we're all better persons today because we learned from and were led by Chamorro leaders like Frank D. Parrish. We worked together, we prayed together, and we stayed together. There's probably no tree anywhere in the world that provides as much for shelter and sustenance as this magnificent tree. Earlier I had spoken of how we use its leaves for roofing and siding. In addition to that, the needles from the leaves made excellent brooms, and their straight trunks made excellent pillars for houses. But if the tree is remarkable, its blossoms and its fruits, the coconuts are even more remarkable. From its fronds come the very delicious sweet tuba, which could be boiled to extract syrup. Fermented, the tuba makes a very good beverage, which was consumed in great quantities, I might add, during the war. From tuba comes vinegar for cooking, pickling, and hair washing. Perhaps one of the most little-known byproducts of tuba is aguardiente. Distilled tuba, which is roughly akin to gin, and which some people still call white lightning because of its potent voltage as it shoots through your system when you drink it. Now that's what I was told. From the right coconut could be derived oil for cooking and fuel and feed for chickens, pigs, and little kids and big kids and manamko like me. A few nights ago, I met a fellow who has been on Guam for a few years, and having attended a few fiestas, he proceeded to tell me about Guam and our people, and the Chamorros in particular. He was very complimentary, and I thanked him profusely for his good thoughts. No question about it. The fiesta as we know it today is quite enjoyable, and people take great pride in making sure that their fiesta is a good one. But during the occupation, it was not possible to have a big celebration, and with so little food, we only ate our share. But there was plenty of tuba, and on occasion, some music. Unlike the music that you hear today, most of the songs were ballads and were very sentimental, which seemed appropriate for the time. The same Kina Ariola, who pounded out American songs on the piano in defiance of our enemy, entertained us with piano accompaniment when we sang Chamorro songs. And we sang a lot. During the war, we heard together, we cried together, but once in a while, we sang together, and we sang Chamorro songs. You know, to this day, 50 years later, I have never been able to pass the cave sites on San Ramon Hill without glancing at them. They bring back so many memories. When we were digging these caves, we would secretly chuckle at the absurdity that we, the simple natives of the island, would be digging caves for soldiers with tanks, cannons, and machine guns. After all, they were the ones from an industrialized nation equipped to fight. Yet there they were, looking for a place to hide, and we were digging the walls of the hill for them. We would also chuckle at the fact that we were digging holes on mountain walls, and we were quite clumsy working with coral and stone. Yet our ancestors were capable of chiseling beautiful Lottie stones on Guam centuries earlier, and they were only using the most primitive of tools. Now as I look at these caves, I'm reminded of the catacombs in Rome. But those were built for good reasons. Our caves were built for bad reasons. Next time you drive up San Ramon Hill, focus not on the caves on your left, but on the Lottie stones on your right. That's the real Guam. There's an old saying, you don't miss the water until the well runs dry. This saying could be applied to the health care that we had readily available to us before World War II in the various dispensaries throughout the island system. We sure missed them during the war, and although there was some health care by the Japanese, our people had to resort to the nature, the natural resources for the most part. We resorted to many natural sources for medicinal help, such as leaves and fruits of some plants, which would be pounded to paste, applied to sores. They were gruesome in appearance, but amazingly, when the paste was eventually removed, the wound or the sore would be healed. Now, one of the lasting legacies of the occupation was the vaccination shots that were given primarily to the young. Now, with total disregard for aesthetics, 4 shots would be given in the upper arm. And these shots eventually became sores about an inch or so apart, but the size of a dime. Unfortunately, in some cases, all these sores got together, became big, and you ended with a scar about the size of a silver dollar. Now, this is called mabakuna in the Chamorro language. Today, you see on Guam quite a number of people with these scars. In a sense, wearing these scars today certifies you as an original member of the struggle. Wear it with pride. Ngel bay kuntuisan juhun Chamorro sestia latsanai. Masila mesia tungo zeling na falai ben na guanu jamu programa jaba panana Nihi Ta Hasso the person they comment so hune English so. Pinugna pun funu Chamorro lang na biga chung ngin pun na ne programa na Chamorro pusunu Chamorro pusanga je tungo le kambi ga chung tungo Chamorro esa mega na tau tau ti matu man hobin sito ti matu man Chamorro. Atia hongi tau karantini na magu ne kuntu chuju Chamorro. Besangoni am juna stena programa put hago and put guahu put hita tinisi sorry na ta fan nangai toto san lago toto san haja toto san lusan san kata posangoni te manu minasapeta ki tempungera Guamos experienciata que tiempongera fuera de los apetite. Ji man hita, man machotit, man ngotit, man hita todo, man bailet, man ngontet, man madesit, lo man hita to tempo, man ajudet to tempo. Kasi dyan na sumono gwinin na programa pa bay sangoni hita todos na eji tiempongera ni man hita debi itauto ni gua hadotet sa mohuni na banidoso ni na magov sa maulig bidata ni rasata, maulig bidata di famidata, maulig bidata para hita todos. No nós muna mamagufu na tauto, no nós muna banidoso estava gwini itempongera. Just must Of all the things we did under duress with forced labor battalions consisting of Chamorro men and women during the war, nothing stands out as a living memorial more than the complex we now know as the Guam International Airport, Naval Air Station, Agana. To come close to appreciating what we had to do, a bulldozer today can do in 1 hour what it took 100 of us with picks and shovels to do in a week. When we were just about finished with the airfield, the Americans started bombing it in the daytime. And at nighttime, we got rounded up so we can go and make repairs. In one of the most supremely ironic twists of life, the field which was built under duress during war now serves as one of the main arteries of economic lifeline for Guam. The grandchildren of those who forced us to build it now come to enjoy the stories. And finally, the airport now bears the name of one of the most distinguished Chamorro leaders, Congressman Tony Wampat, whose own brother was executed by the Japanese in the early days of the war. It's a tragic story, but a beautiful story of our people that is worth remembering, and that's why we do it. Few plants and trees native to Guam are more troublesome than tangantangans. Matter of fact, you always hear people, desi tangantangan, desi tangantangan. On the other hand, few trees match it in utility. Its live leaves make excellent feed for cattle and pigs. Its dry leaves make excellent mulch, and the nitrogen content of its roots is so high that everything grows in any clearing that used to be a tangantangan growth. Its branches make outstanding firewood with fragrance that is unmatched, and its trunk make good foundations for houses and posts for fencing. And the smaller branches are used as climbers for beans and yams. Many people know about this, but what many people do not know, that during the occupation, the seeds were roasted and toasted and mixed with water, which is then filtered for use as coffee. Now, we never knew whether it was regular or decaffeinated, but who cares, huh? It was good. You know, as we gather to celebrate the 50th anniversary of liberation this year, we are saddened by the absence of one of the most admired, respected, and loved persons on Guam, Agueda Iglesias Johnston. Although 17 years have elapsed since her passing, it still seems like she's around. I remember the first time that we celebrated liberation, she was the one who cut the cake, and she was also one of the organizers of the annual observance as we know it today. I felt so close to Mrs. Johnston that I know that it would not be possible for me to make an objective comment, and I would not want to do that. So let me just cite what others have said about her in the last few years. Then Governor Ricky Bordallo said she was a rare jewel. There are all kinds of precious stones, and she represents the closest to perfection. Then Speaker Joe Adda said the qualities which made her great and which have influenced the lives of every one of us over the years are examples to all of us. She was a leader in education. She was a social leader, wartime heroine, courageous, humorous, gentle, kind, motherly, sisterly, neighborly. One of the most wonderful persons anyone could know. And she was with us during the struggle. You know, today being Father's Day, our thoughts are focused on our father, dad, tata, papa, and all the good years that we've had with them. In speaking of the years, whenever I was asked in the past if I learned